Baby, it's cold outside. Unless, of course, you're chasing bluewater tuna.
We got one! There we go! Look at that go, baby.
Stay tuned to warm up with some incredible deep water action out of Venice, Louisiana. This is North American Fisherman.
You know, George, it's been a while since I've been down to Venice. This place has really changed.
Yeah, they've made a lot of improvements. They've had some hurdles. I've been here prior to Hurricane Katrina. I left the week before Hurricane Katrina, and then I came back within a couple of months. And then I was actually here last summer for the oil spill. My heart sunk last year when they had that disaster out there. 11 lives were lost. I fished that rig a couple of weeks before the disaster. I was fortunate enough to come out here and help my friends at Venice Marina in a recovery effort. We worked side by side with the state, we worked side by side with BP. I watched people go out here and save the resources. I saw oil, I saw lots of oil, but I saw it cleaned up like that. Coming back here a few months later, you know what? I don't think we skipped a beat.
You know, the fishing here is so amazing. I mean, the redfish, the speckled trout.
Louisiana is near and dear to Steve Pennaz.
I have to admit, Venice is one of my favorite places to fish. You've got inshore, you've got offshore, tuna, you've got redfish, you've got trout, you've got snapper, you got everything right here. And today we're going offshore, and I know you've been offshore the last few weeks. What's it been like?
You know, it's been good. We're going to be fishing some what they call floaters, which are floating oil rigs. They're going to be anywhere from 1,500 foot of water to 4,000 feet of water. We're looking for pelagics. We're looking for yellowfin tunas, blackfin tunas, dolphin, perhaps one of the billfish species. We're going to be doing it light baiting. We're going to be using some threadfin herring, little small blue runners.
As with most blue water trips like this, the guys start by catching bait.
Ideally, I'd like to have, since they're so big like this, maybe 100.
Is that right?
Something like that. We call them thread fins. They've got this big long thread hanging off of their dorsal. Big, pretty threadfin herring.
Great bait.
Steve, we're fishing these threadfin herring, and we're going to be using a
rubber band.
Yep. We're going to go through his nostrils with a rigging needle. So a rubber band, make a loop, and then we're going to go right back through the loop. He can swim much more freely, less wound to him. What we're going to do is we're going to pull out, about 30 or 40 feet of line. We're fishing 50-pound tackle with 50-pound line at Stren High Vis. I can see it real good. I like it for the outrigger. Fish can see it, so we'll top shot it with a 50-pound fluorocarbon leader.
And what size hook are you using here?
That's a 6.0 39954. It's a quadruple strength hook. And then we're going to deploy our bait, let him out. If we don't take some line out, he'll swim right in the props. Just be ready to put that reel in gear, because it could get slammed right now. What happens is the tunas are staged on the upcurrent side of the rig. What they're doing, they're waiting to ambush stuff that's pushed to them. We want to get our baits on the surface. We want to deploy them, and we want it can be anywhere from 10 to every 15 minutes those fish will pop up and eat something.
We got one! Now, we've been waiting for a bite since 9 o'clock this morning. It's 12 o'clock.
You got him, Steve?
Yeah, I haven't seen color yet. I think it's a little blackie.
Nice blackfin?
Yeah.
Ooh, they eat good.
Ooh, look at it, he's been hit.
Oh yeah, he was almost a statistic.
There we go. Good size one too.
Shoot, that's a huge
blackie.
blackfin. He's dodged the gauntlet. Look at that.
Yeah, what the heck got him? Well, this is the biggest blackfin I've ever seen before, let alone caught. That thing's a giant. Almost 30 pounds.
We'll go to break as they put this one on ice. This is North American Fisherman. North American Fisherman is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. By Berkeley Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene, America's strongest. Quebec, providing emotions since 1534. Yeti Coolers, wildly stronger, keeps ice longer. And by these other fine sponsors. The port of Venice, Louisiana is no stranger to challenges. Hurricane Katrina ravaged her shores in 2005 and left the people here to rebuild, which they did. In 2010, the Deepwater Horizon disaster literally shut down the fishery and the lifeblood of this community. Once again, they have come back even stronger.
Maybe there is a little uncertainty in what the future is, but for the most part, I think we're back in the game.
Steve Pennaz is back after his last trip here with Captain George Mitchell when they went after mackerel. This time they're fishing tuna. They've boated one nice blackfin, but this trip is proving tough as they missed the early bite and have been forced farther offshore.
You know, Steve, really not a whole lot going. We're going to try and entice a bite by putting our bait right on the surface. We've seen a few blow-ups.
Yep.
Going to go ahead and use our kite. We don't have enough wind today for the kite, so we're going to use a helium balloon. We got a 40-inch helium balloon that will inflate and tie to the back of the kite. What we're doing is we're trying to entice a bite. We're trying to imitate a flying fish. We don't have a flying fish, and you can't buy live flying fish. We've hung a live herring from it in an attempt to duplicate a flying fish as much as we can.
Even with the third line out, the bite remains elusive, so the guys keep moving offshore. Frigate birds over the next oil rig offer a clue that the fish may be there. It's eminently clear it's their last shot to find the bigger tuna.
Wait. There goes the other one.
And just like that, the guys tie into a double.
Got him. Little bonita.
Yeah, swing to me.
But the smaller bonitas are not what they're after.
At least it's some action. We're looking for their big brothers, though, the yellowfin. We haven't seen a yellowfin yet.
I think we're going to go with a disco minnow this time. They call them a disco minnow because of all the pretty colors on them.
Fish! Get him? There you go. I'll take him. Woo, baby! Give me a belt, I'll let you have some of my almonds.
All right, step towards the back here.
We've got fish all over the depth finder right now.
Do we? Okay.
Oh, it's about time we've earned this. If you haven't worked out before you get here, you're gonna regret it.
You know, it's the bottom of the ninth, Steve. It's 4:45.
That's late. We should have been left a long time ago.
Well,
I can't turn this guy. Oh, God. Ah!
we're probably with a 70-pound fish. Nice fish, Steve. Get his head up out of the water for me.
Got him. Whoa! Woo! Where's the motor? Where's the motor?
Where's my GoPro?
Oh my God, he broke your... Oh, there he is.
50 foot of fluorocarbon coming in.
Ah, he broke. Nothing hurts worse than lose a fish after a tough day and after a tough fight.
You know, sometimes the fish got to win. The hook pulled.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I mean, it always hurts to lose one, but when it's the bite you've been waiting for 10 hours, and then you finally, we got a bite. Look at that go, baby.
As I went to clear the lines, bam, that one's on. So now we got 2 on.
Those are, I think it's a tuna. A double after 10 hours of not getting bit?
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on this. You could probably
Try and get him in the head if you can. There you go. Good work.
There we go. Another big
For not being
blackie,
an
huh?
expert, you did a heck of a job. Thank you, sir.
Oh, I thought we had another. Well, we got one going on this one.
I did, yeah. That's
do
the
you
kite.
You got one on the kite too? Got a yellow?
Well, enough is.
Yeah, baby. All right, grab you there.
Gotta have his head out of the water for me, okay?
Big
Head
yellow.
out of the water. Reel down one more. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! Nice fish.
All right, Cappy, that's what we came for.
Yes.
Good work, yellowfin tuna. That's what we came for.
Deck's getting bloody.
Look at that pretty fish, huh?
Oh, how big is that?
He's 50.
After a tough day with lost fish, big fish, broken gaffs, lots of running, we finally put 2 tuna in the box.
We went from 1 to 2 to 3. That's right, the kite bait got bit.
We got a 3rd fish on, right?
You got a 3rd fish on?
You want to take that?
No, sir, it's all you. You're my guest. Have at it.
Well, after the yellowfin, this little bonita.
What you got, boss?
Just a little bonita.
Okay.
This is a situation where George made a veteran call, and it was the right call. The 4th rig was the key to the entire day. In fact, we ended the day with a triple. When you use the right gear, you catch more fish. And I want you to enjoy the exact same success that we did on today's show. That's why we're giving you a chance to win the selection of lines and lures that we use, including a spool of 50-pound Berkley Prospect monofilament and 2 6-inch Sebile splashers. To enter this free drawing, go to Facebook and like the Fishing Club. Then, click on the TB-tested Win What's Working button at the top of the page and follow the simple instructions. Love the fish? Then like the Fishing Club on Facebook. There's a lot to like and a lot to win.
What's the ideal size for stocking bass? Dr. Hal Schramm has the answer on Dock Talk after this week's Knot Wars, up next.
Welcome to Knot Wars, where we pit fishing's best knots in a head-to-head competition to determine which knots you can count on. Last week in a heated battle, the I-Crosser knot beat the popular improved clinch in the first round of competition to find the strongest knot with monofilament. For consistency, all testing will be done with 14-pound Berkley XT Tough Red monofilament. The weekly winner will be the knot with the highest overall average after it's tied and tested a minimum of 12 times. If you missed last week's episode, here's a refresher on how to tie the I-Crosser. Run the line through the hook eye twice and then back up the main line about 8 inches. Bring the tag end back toward the hook and wrap it around the parallel lines 2 to 3 times. Finally, moisten with a bit of saliva and draw tight. The challenger this week is called the cheek knot, which first appeared in Knot Wars in Season 3. It offers great strength with mono. Here's how you tie it. Start by running the tag end through the hook eye and back up the main line before doubling it over to form a loop. Now, run the tag end back through the hook eye, but this time in the opposite direction. Next, wrap the tag end around the doubled line 4 times. Moisten and pull slowly, alternating between the tag end and the main line until tightened. So it's the I-Crosser versus the cheek. Which is stronger with mono? Let's find out. I already have the trusty knot testing machine set up. We've got the cheek knot, our challenger, here on the left. We have the I-Crosser here on the right. Here goes. Well, we have a winner. The I-Crosser has beat the cheek knot, but look at this score, 22.9. The cheek knot broke a little higher than average, but the I-Crosser is still holding strong. And you know what that means? It means the I-Crosser moves on to next week where it faces another tough competitor in the Homer Circle knot. Yes, this knot was developed by Uncle Homer himself. By the way, if you'd like to practice the eye crosser, the cheek, or any of the knots featured on Knot Wars, simply visit fishingclub.com and click on Knot Wars. Or better yet, download your free Knot Wars app, now available on both Droid and iPhone. Knot Wars, because no good fish story ends in a broken knot.
Now that's what we're talking about. These fish have really been snapping today. But you know, they don't bite every day. You ask a bass angler after a subpar fishing trip what they think needs to be done to improve their bass fishing, I'll bet just about every time they'll say, stock more fish. Well, there are good reasons for stocking largemouth bass. Certainly in a new or renovated farm pond, we've got to put the fish in to get a population going. While numerous studies have looked at the results of stocking bass into an established population, and the results are almost always the same. Very, very low return. With predation on the stocked fingerlings considered to be the main factor affecting their survival, Illinois Natural History Survey researchers wondered what happens if we stock different sizes of fingerlings. Into 4 central Illinois lakes, they stocked 2-inch fingerlings in July, 4-inch fingerlings a month later, 6-inch fingerlings a month after that, and then the following spring, they stocked some advanced 8-inch fingerlings that they'd reared in the hatchery over the winter. Fall sampling, the first year, revealed very few of the small and medium fingerlings left, but they still had the large and the advanced fingerlings. The second year, shocking in the fall, collected very few of any of the fish. Well, if you're one of these anglers that thinks, see, stocking fish does improve the population, well, you're right, there were a few fish out there. But 1 fish or 4 fish per hour of electrofishing, that's scarcely a % or 2 of the bass that are already out there. With only a 1 or 2 or 3% return, is that how you want your license dollars spent? Hey, the more we know, the better we can manage. That's good for the fish, and that's good for your fishing.
The following products have been field tested and approved by members of the North American Fishing Club. Foley Beltsaw's digital How to Start a Fishing Guide Business manual is loaded with information and resources that'll help you get your professional fishing guide business off the ground. John Smith of McMinnville, Tennessee liked the informal approach and depth of topics covered. If you would like to become a field tester, text the word FISH plus your email address to 57682. Coming up, Steve Pennaz shows you how to cut costs on your next fishing trip when North American Fisherman returns.
Recently, I was on a trip to an enormous remote lake. Gas, when it was available, was extremely expensive, nearly $8 a gallon. So I can assure you I did everything possible to keep my fuel costs low. But there's a kicker. We had to travel long distances each day to find fish. You know, speed and economy don't normally go hand in hand, but fortunately it upgraded to 4-stroke technology, which in the case of this Yamaha 300 delivers roughly 20% better fuel economy at cruising speeds than older 2-stroke technology, and 15% better and more speed at top end. Plus, because 4-strokes don't burn oil, there's additional savings there. The trick is to keep a light hand on the throttle, and here's why. Running at 3,500 RPM with this boat, I cruise at about 29 miles an hour and burn about 7 gallons of gas. At top end, or 5,900 RPM, my speed increases to almost 60 miles per hour, but my fuel usage more than triples. I found I can enjoy world-class performance and acceptable fuel costs if I take the time to find that sweet spot in the throttle that offers the best combination of speed and fuel economy. Fish! George, we got one.
You got him?
Yeah.
Got another good one?
I don't know, he's not taking it like a yellow. Might be a bonita. He's right here. He's trying to pass us. One of the toughest fishing trips of all is an offshore trip, especially when you're traveling 60, 70, 80 miles offshore. It was a fun day, a successful day, a day I'll never forget.
When you plan your tuna days, you know it's not going to be an early day. You know you got to put your time in.
You need to clear this other line?
Let's keep fishing for a second. We see how big he is. Doesn't feel real big, Steve.
It doesn't? Okay. I'm in gear, just so you know.
If he
Okay.
gets bigger, we'll rethink things. Looks bonita-ish.
Bonita-ish? Oh yeah.
Got our bait back anyhow.
You just flipped him in, huh? Like a tournament bass fisherman.
At the end of the day, it ended up being fantastic. We hit that home run.
What a day, a chance to spend a full day with a captain of George Mitchell's capabilities. I've never, ever run 185 miles by water, but it's a story I'm gonna tell my grandkids.
Reward, GoPro camera attached to a small piece of gaff. $1,000, call me.
North American Fisherman is brought to you by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Abu Garcia for life. Berkeley Gulp Alive. Looks alive, feels alive, tastes alive. And by these other fine sponsors.